Okay. When I was 9 years old, there are 3 people that I most reverently, equally feared and looked up to, idolized. At the top of the list was this girl, Sherry Smith. Sherry Smith, if she didn't exist, I would have been the prettiest, the first to get tits, the smartest. I would have been all that, but Sherry Smith took all of it. Sherry Smith was the prettiest, had tits in 2nd grade. She had everything that I wanted. And the second was Mrs. Linder, my 4th grade teacher. Mrs. Linder, picture Carol Burnett if she had the delivery of Adolf Hitler. So Mrs. Linder, class! But looked just like Carol Burnett. You just thought she was going to be like this. Scary, scary, scary. Great teacher. But I was scared to death of her. And the third, of course, was the Judeo-Christian God, who I equally loved and feared. So anyway, in 4th grade, Sherry Smith, well, in 4th grade, most of us wanted to be teachers, because in the 70s, that was about what we all aspired to be as women. And I loved to teach all the little kids in my neighborhood, and I had my little fake chalkboard, and the chalk my mom would get it got acne, and every color looked great in a box, but when you used it, it was white. And I thought I was the best teacher in the neighborhood. In fact, I was the best teacher in the neighborhood until I went to Sherry Smith's house. Because when I went to Sherry Smith's house, she had a regulation chalkboard and this vibrant chalk. I mean, chalk that when you used it, it was bright green and bright red, and she had real textbooks and workbooks, and I was in awe. All I wanted was that chalk. I wanted that chalk. I begged Sherry, please, please, please let me have some chalk. No, no, no. So one day, we're in school, and she says, listen, I know how you can get some chalk. I know where Mrs. Linder keeps it. And she shows me the closet, and she says, all right, well, as soon as the class is over, you sneak in and you grab some of the chalk. And I say, oh, jeez. All right, so she talked me into it, and I'm thinking, okay, and I get the chalk, and I'm going home, and I'm equally excited, waiting till the kids get a load of this, and then terrified, and my stomach wants to throw up. And I get home, and for 2 days I use the chalk, and it seemed to not bring me the kind of joy that I really expected to get. Suddenly the green didn't look so special. And the 3rd day I go to school. I walk into class, we all sit down, and in walks Mrs. Linder. Class! We apparently have a thief in the room! And I'm like, oh my God. She went on for 5 minutes about how egregious an act of thievery had occurred with us children, and that she can imagine who it could have been. But if we bring it back before or right after lunch and put it back where we got it, she would never say another word about it. Now, my mother was on the school board, president of the PTA. I was known as the nice kid in school, and I was terrified. So I had to run home lunchtime, get the chalk, wrap it up, put it back exactly where it was, with nobody seeing that it was me that snuck it back in. And I did, and nothing was ever said about it again. I cried for a week, prayed for forgiveness, and realized that that day I learned 2 of the most important lessons I'd ever learned to this day, 40-some years later. That number 1, stealing is most definitely wrong, and number 2, Sherry Smith was not that cool.